Hello, hello, hello. What's up, everybody? Yes, we are back with the Illinois Running News podcast. Man, what a busy, busy week. Last week was, of course, the sectional round for IHSA. Didn't do a show after the regional round, and that was just because there was so much to do last week. There's so much to do this week, but got a little, election day is Tuesday, and he got a little extra time off work this week. So yeah, I'm enjoying a 5 day weekend right now. So yeah, get into this right now. But man, yes, of course, this IHSA sectionals happened yesterday. A lot of very good things to talk about here, and yeah, let's not waste any time. Um, and let's get into what happened at the sectional. This is going to be a long show, so just so you guys know right now. Yeah, so let's start out with 1A. First sectional, we're going to talk about and we're going to break down what the happenings of each sectional in this as well. So stay tuned to listen to your sectional that you were at or your favorite sectional. All right, just all the sectionals in general. But yeah, we start out at Lisle, the Lisle sectional on the boys' side. Individually, this looked like a great race between Nolan Ferris, Grady Smith, and Peter Kipp. Ferris of Montini, Smith of Johnsburg, and Kipp of Northridge Prep. Coming into the meet, knew this could go any way in terms of the individual race. Nolan Ferris has been having a good year, and he ended up getting the win here. 16:06. This was a 5K. Grady Smith was second, 16:06 as well, but it was 16:06.6 instead of 16:06.3 that Ferris, so .3 of a second separated him. Peter Kitt was right behind him, 16:07.7. Good individual race. All those there's Ben Bohr was in this. Nino Pesola was in this race. Jack Swatek. Sorry if I mispronounced that. John Saka, John Rebold. So yeah, a pretty good individual race. But yeah, Nolan Ferris gets the win over the freshman Grady Smith, who's been having a great year for Johnsburg. He's been really somebody interesting to watch throughout the year. But yeah, Nolan Ferris looked great here. Team race. Aurora Central Catholic got the win over number one Northridge Prep. Northridge Prep hadn't really faced anybody from 1A this year yet, besides they faced Benton at Richard Spring. But they've been doing pretty well. And even this race at sectionals was probably their best race of the season. And Aurora Central Catholic just really broke out here and really looked good. From my vantage point. So yeah, they got the win, 42-57 over Northridge Prep. Montini qualified with 67 points. Elgin Harvest Christian Academy qualified. Herscher qualified, and Culm Tri-Point qualified. So if you guys don't know anything about Culm Tri-Point, it's between like Minooka and Normal in Champaign area. So it's right there, kind of over by, not over by Herscher, but I mean, yeah, you get the point probably. Plainfield Joliet area, Minooka area to Normal and Champaign in between there. But yeah, Culm Tri-Point though. Joey Santillo, Minooka graduate, Minooka state champ as part of Minooka's 4x8 coaches down there, if I'm correct. So, yeah, that's going to be an interesting team to watch here over the next few years as they start making their ascent. And it looks like this was the first step here, qualifying for the state meet. Yeah, 6 qualified from the sectional. That's how many teams that 1A qualify. And those 6 teams will represent at the state. It will be represented at the state meet. On to the girls' side of that sectional. Man. So I had received a text message from Dan Daly early in the week saying Mia is going to run. And Mia is Mia Cutler, the senior from Chicago Latin, who made her season debut this past weekend at the sectional. We've been waiting all year for her to come back, especially in terms of the team race, which we'll talk about here in a second, and just what the implications of that is. They, it yeah, we knew that she was going up against some great competition. Kyla Babb, Sydney Gertson were both in this sectional. Kyla Babb got the win. 5K course, remember. 17:37 for Kyla Babb. That is insane for her. Easily her best race of the year. It looks like she's for sure going to break 17 next week at Detweiler. There's almost no doubt to me that she might run like 16:30 something next week. So I was really impressed. She pulled away from Mia Cutler, who still had a great race, who ran 17:52 for second place at the sectional. Sydney Gertson was third, 18:33. But yeah, Kyla Babb looked amazing from Westmont at the sectional. And just really impressed by Kyla Babb individually. On the team side, Ladin got the win overall, 65 points. They were without Ellie Anderson. She'll be back next week for the state meet. So Ladin's going to be a team that we need to watch for in the state title picture now that Mia Cutler has returned to the fold. Herscher was second. Montini was third on a tiebreaker. IC Catholic, Elmhurst IC Catholic pieced it together. They were ranked preseason. They pieced it together, 154. And then Regina Dominican was fifth with 157 points. And then Aurora Central Catholic was the final team in with 166 points. Ranked Chicago Christian just missed out. They had 172 for seventh. But those 6 teams will be represented at the state meet. Ladin, though, blew away the race. They won by 80 points in terms of the team race, or 77 points, or is that right? No. 78 points. 78 points. There's the math. So, yeah, Ladin looked great. Have to see how they do next week. But, yeah. We move on to Elmwood now. Individually, another good race, but going in, you kind of knew who the favorite was. It was Maxwell Kirby of Peoria Notre Dame, and he got the win here, 15:07. This course, Maple Lane Country Club, it's a golf course, of course, in Elmwood. It's comparable to Detweiler in terms of times. I'll say that. So it's a very fast course. It's 15:04, great for Maxwell Kirby. I'm excited to see him get against some competition next week at the state meet. And, yeah, he beat some good runners here. Tucker Henkel of Eureka, Elijah Teffy of Pleasant Plains, Aiden Faulkner of Elmwood. So, great individuals in this race, and Maxwell Kirby looked pretty strong here. Team-wise, Elmwood got the win, 53 points. They looked great. Another team that will be competing with Northridge and Aurora Central Catholic next week for the state title. They looked amazing. Eureka, 80 points, still a very strong team. They'll be top 10, maybe even top 5 this upcoming week. Peoria Notre Dame was third. Illini Bluffs was fourth. Pleasant Plains was fifth, and Clinton was sixth. Notable teams that didn't make it out were Auburn and El Paso Gridley. So they were about 20 points out each. But this sectional was loaded in terms of the team. I mean, Clinton has been hanging around a top 10 team this year, and they were the 6th place team at the sectional. So it sucks sometimes how sectional lines are drawn, but unfortunately it's only 6 that make it to state out of each sectional, and it's not always fair. So it's based off your geographical location, which is how it is for the IHSA, unfortunately. But yeah, on the girls' side, another great individual battle coming in. You had like Aubrey Peterson of Clinton, Louisa Wilson of Williamsville, who's already a senior, which is crazy. Peyton Brady, Sacred Heart Griffin, Claire Eitner of Maurora Forsyth. And it was actually Claire Eitner that got the win from Maurora Forsyth. The junior ran 17:50 for the win over Aubrey Peterson, the freshman from Clinton, who ran 17:55. Wilson was third, 18:01 from Williamsville. Peyton Brady was fourth from Sacred Heart Griffin in 18:02. Yeah, there were 11 girls underneath 18:30, so great individual race and even better team race. Williamsville got the win overall, but it's about the 6 teams that qualified to state. That's really impressive. El Paso Gridley was second. Peoria Notre Dame third. Eureka 4. Pleasant Plains 5. And Elmwood. Elmwood finally looked like the Elmwood that I thought that they would be preseason. They finally hit it just at the right time to nab that 6th qualifier position. Sacred Heart Griffin, who has been hanging out right around, I think, like 10 or 11 all year in the rankings, was 7th. So they do not make it to the state meet as a team. But, again, just really tough sectional. Clinton, who's been ranked all year, 8th. Stanford Olympia, who's been ranked all year, 9th. Delavan, who's been ranked all year, 10th. So just, yeah, the crazy depth in this sectional is again, it's just unfortunate that, that they got drawn into the sectional, but they're state qualifying teams in any other sectional. On to our third sectional, that was the Toledo Cumberland sectional. Chaz Oberkfell got the win, 15:11. Evan Cook second from Decatur St. Teresa, 15:20. Will Fusen third from Sierra Gordo B. Met, 15:22. This was interesting to see. Chaz Oberkfell is going, or honestly, 3 of those guys could be fighting for the second place position at the state meet. We're being honest here, so they're all great caliber runners, and it was good to see. It was a big win for Chaz Oberkfell in this race over those 2. But team wise, Georgetown, Notre Dame, De La Salette got the team win. St. Joseph Ogden makes it to the state meet. Urbana U makes it to the state meet. Tolono Unity makes it. Toledo Cumberland and Gillespie all make it to state meet. So I think the only ranked team that missed was Monticello out of this one. On to the girls' side, and this is the most impressive race from the weekend, I feel like, individual race. Isabella Keller wins 16:35. Kate Foltz takes second in 16:36. Knew that these two were closer than a lot of people thought that they were. I know a lot of people scrutinized last week's performance, and from what I heard from a coach and what I saw on Strava is the course was 2.95 miles at Tuscola, where Kate Foltz ran 16:02. I knew it was still a great performance. I thought maybe like 16:20s at Detweiler kind of good. And I'm like, oh, okay, we'll see. I think that she'll show people wrong. But I thought Isabella Keller was going to kind of run away with this still. In the back of my head, I just thought, you know what, maybe when she gets right next to her, it's going to be, it's going to be interesting to see. But I just thought that Keller was gonna pull away from the win, with the win because of her pedigree that she's had over the last year on the cross country course. I mean, this is she just had Annika Swan come near her at Nike Twilight, but nobody has come this close from Illinois to Isabella Keller since she's entered high school. So yeah, very interesting to see. I hope hopefully we can see this matchup again next week at the state meet, because this was insanely close, insanely competitive. And I'm really excited. I mean, this is what we're talking about here. We can potentially see a sub 16:10 in the 1A classification from both of these girls. If they stay neck and neck throughout the entire race, I think that it can be done where we see both of them break 16:10 at the state meet. So yeah, awesome race. Put this in perspective. Tessa Bowers, who is a sub 17 runner, Detweiler, this season ran 17:21. It was 50 seconds behind those two. Yikes. 45 seconds to be exact. Molly Farrell was 4th. Emily Decker was 5th. Madeline Fox was 6th. Savannah Franzen was 7th. Aubrey Denning was 8th. Mackenzie Powell was 9th. Grace Bressner was 10th. Just loaded individual race here. And on the team side, Tolona Unity got the win over Shelbyville. So, state qualifiers, Tolona Unity, Shelbyville, St. Joe, Ogden, St. Anthony got it. So we'll see. Isabella Keller and Aubrey Denning are now part of the team score of the or part of the team scorers of the state meet. So the point totals are going to be a little bit higher now because of that. Not much, but a little bit. Fairfield was 5th. Paxton Buckley Loda got in as the 6th qualifying team. That's great to see from Paxton Buckley Loda. The girls have really, really been great this year. Monticello ended up missing out. Marshall, Urbana U, those were the teams that just missed out at qualifying to the state meet from the sectional. On to Rock Island, Almond now, at Saluki Golf Course. Good course there. Kind of a newer course for the high school scene. It's been more used for collegiate meets with Augustana. But the high school 3-mile course has been used a couple times now this year. But yeah, so we got Nikolai Martino, who won the individual race 15-16. He won first to finish. He's going to be interesting to watch next week. He's going to be fighting for the state championship. Andrew Curran from Rockford Christian, 15-20. He's had a great season. Tim Starwell, Byron was 3rd, 15-37. Evan White was 4th from Rockford Christian, and 15-46. Braden Bode was 5th from Riverdale. Aiden Vasquez was 6th. Evan Noblock was 7th. So great individual race here. On the team side, Rockford Christian got the win over Winnebago after Winnebago has beaten them the last 2 weeks. So Rockford Christian finally pushes ahead of Winnebago. Winnebago didn't have their best race here. I wouldn't be too worried about it. We'll see how it goes next week. But I think that Rockford Christian and Winnebago will be a lot closer than they were at the sectional. Kewanee Weathersfield, who came on late this year, they had a really good regional performance, and they backed it up with a great sectional performance now to take 3rd. Princeville was 4th. Rockford Lutheran makes it in 5th, and Byron is the 6th qualifying team out of the Almond sectional. On to the girls' side, it was Emily Downing who got the win individually, 17-46. Alyssa Higgins from Knoxville, 17-57 for 2nd. Emily Downing, she's going to be right at the 17-minute mark at the state meet next week. She won this pretty easily, and it'll be interesting to see how well she does next week in a loaded 1A girls classification. Winnebago got the team win overall, 66 points. Byron was 2nd. Stark County was 3rd. Sherrard was 4th. Cambridge was 5th. And Seneca gets the last team spot on the girls' side. On to Benton now. Benton sectional. Gabe Goob McLean gets the individual win, 14-09 over his teammate Cole Buchanan, 14-33. So Benton was 1-2-5 in this race, and we'll talk about the team results here in a second. But 2.92 course. Goob McLean looks like he is poised and back to where he was. I think it's going to be hard to see anybody beating him next week at the state meet. I mean, I could be wrong here, but Goob has just developed very nicely since last year. And he just looks like he is ready to run 14:30s and win the state championship. So it isn't the greatest year top end wise for 1A. It's not like we're probably going to see a 14:20 this week, but yeah, it looks like it's a very deep year in terms of the classification. A lot of runners probably will see the fastest all-state cutoff that we've ever seen at the 1A classification, I believe, on the boys' side, which we'll talk about in another episode when we break down the state meet. But yeah, it's Goob McLean is on a different level right now. Murfreesboro, let's go to team wise. Murfreesboro got the win overall. Pinckneyville was second. Benton was third. Now Benton was without Briggs Miller, so that's something to watch out for. He should be back next week. He ran at the regional. I don't know why he didn't run at the sectional. I hope he's back next week and that he runs. So Benton only ran 5 runners at sectionals. So keep an eye out next week for that. But if he is running, then they will be back into the trophy hunt. Roxana was 4th. Metro East Lutheran got in with new head coach, Coach Risnick. And then Father McGivney was the 6th team qualifying in on the boys' side. On the girls' side, Mia Gilmore, 16:58 for the win over Jaden Girardi, who ran 17:24. And it was Vanessa Teal in 3rd, 17:29. Carol Tepe of Ocalville, 17:33. Elena Ryback was 5th, 17:49. Don't really know what's going on with Elena Ryback. She looked great at the start of the season. And since first to the finish, really hasn't pieced together a great race. I hope everything's okay with her, number one. And, yeah, we'll just have to see. I mean, we'll have to see how next week goes. But, yeah, well, it's definitely going to be an interesting thing to watch going into next week if she does return back to her form that she had at the beginning of the season. On the girls' side, Anna Jonesboro looked like they finally put all 7 runners together in the same race, and they dominated 44 points. They look like the favorites heading into this week. Yeah, they're going to have a lot of competition around them, but they look like they are ready to win a state championship, in my opinion. Father McGivney was 2nd, Murfreesboro 3rd, Pinckneyville 4th, Breeze Mountain Day 5th, and Belleville Altoff Catholic was 6th. Those are your 1A sectionals. We've recapped every race now, and we're at 22 minutes. All right, cool. All right, on to, I'm going to try and speed this up here a little bit for 2A. All right, 2A, we move to 4 sectionals per class now, and that will be the same for 3A, along with 7 teams now qualify out of each sectional. Okay, on to Olney Richland County at Olney Central College. This race happened. 3.05 course, so a little bit longer. Gabriel Greer of Marion gets the individual win over Caleb Matthias. 14:57 to Caleb Matthias' 15:02. The Greer twins and mainly Marion overall has improved so much over the last 2 weeks. Really excited to see how they run at the state meet. They're, of course, the defending state champions. Both the Greer twins were all-staters last year, and they really hadn't looked very good up until last week. And Gabe is really excelling right now, as we can see at the sectional. So really excited. He's going to be top 5 this week at the state meet, Gabe is. So we'll have to see what position that actually is, but he will likely be in the top 5. I'll say that, because you never know. You know, sometimes just stuff happens at the state meet. Highland got the team win overall. That was kind of surprising. They scored 127, just barely edged out Muhammad Seymour for the win. Marion was 3rd. Mount Vernon was 4th. Chatham Glenwood was 5th. They got out. They've been having injury issues all year. Looks like they're finally piecing it together a little bit now here. Bethalto Civic Memorial was 6th, and Heron was the final team qualifier in 7th. Teams that just missed out: Mascuda, Taylorville, Mount Zion, Richland County. Those were teams that have been ranked this year that just missed out at qualifying to the state meet. On the girls' side, individually, this was Cameron Crump's race. She won by 23 seconds, running 17:40. She looked great. Team wise, Chatham Glenwood scored 50 points. Rochester scored 74. Chatham Glenwood didn't have their best race here. They've looked a little weird the last few weeks, a little bit off of what they have been. Now, they are the defending state champions, of course, and they returned almost all that team, if I'm correct, maybe not, if not all of them. So they know how to win at the state meet, and they know how to do well at the state meet. We'll have to see how next week goes, and hopefully that this is just a blip on the radar. What you did this week does not define what you're going to do next week at the state meet, luckily. So unless you don't qualify, then it does. But they made it to the state meet. They have their ticket to the line on Saturday. Now they're going to need a better race than they had at sectionals, though, and more so how they competed at Lakes and first of the finish in order to beat out the third, whoever, or not to bring home a third place trophy. They're going to bring home a trophy, I believe. I believe that those three teams have really pulled out away from the competition. But Chatham Glenwood, if they want to win a state trophy a state title next week, they're going to have to improve off of their sectional performance from this week. And Rochester was second, like I said, 74 points. Carterville was third, 143. Muhammad Seymour was fourth. Waterloo was fifth. Centennial was sixth, and Mascoutah was seventh. All right, on to Metamora now. Gavin O'Connor individually got the win over Kyler Swanson. Great battle there. It was a second that separated the two of them. 14:35 for Gavin O'Connor on the 2.94 course. Morton got the team win overall. They didn't have their best race, but they've been racing great over the last few weeks prior to this. And, they still got the win here, and that's the number one thing. Oh, they beat some good teams that qualified for state. Normal University qualified. Washington did. Metamora, Morris, Geneseo, and Brother Rice were the qualifying teams. Lamont just missed. They had 207, and Dunlap missed too, which is the first time in a while that I've seen Dunlap not make the state meet, unfortunately. Yeah, so on to the girls' side of things. Sundara Weber, man, she looks good. 16:23. She said she had trouble pushing herself when she does have competition. Well, she ran 16:23 on a 2.94. It's not an easy 2.94 either. She beat Zoe Carter, who is a great competitor in 2A, by 31 seconds. So it looks like, to me, like she can push herself. We had a pair of freshmen go 3 and 4 here, Clark Goranson and Hannah Farley, who were teammates actually for Palatine Pack last year. National champions with Palatine Pack. Sophia Ramirez was 5th, and then Abby Tundeen was 6th. Team-wise, Morton got the team win over Washington. Now, Washington was without their number 2 runner, so hopefully she will be back next week. Normal University was 3rd. Morris was 4th. Dunlap was 5th. Joliet Catholic was 6th. Lamont was 7th, tied with Geneseo. So they will both be at the state meet next week. So that is going to be something fun to watch, with an extra team now into the fold for 2A girls. Now we move on to Hinsdale South. All right, sorry about that. Yeah, so we move on now to Hinsdale South, the 3rd sectional in 2A. Finn Richards was your champion overall from Bennett Academy. He ran 14:10 for the 2.9 course. Thomas Yoakum, who has been having a great season from Glenbard South, 14:17 for second place, only 7 seconds off Finn Richards. Yeah, he's been having a great season. This is a testament to it, being that close to Finn Richards. He will be hopefully close to next week at the state meet. And yeah, it was great to see that. Simon Lane was third from Chicago University. Tremonti Williams was fourth from Peyton. Michael Weiss, the freshman, was fifth from Latin. And he beat Luis Flores from Burbank St. Lawrence, who was sixth overall individually. On the team side, Peyton has finally shown what I've been waiting for all year, and I think it's going to be even better next week. But they scored 61 points. They look like they're the top team now in 2A. Ladin had a great day overall too. They were only 7 points behind them. Peyton though did not have Gabe Cooper. He'll be back next week at the state meet, and yeah, it's good to see that Peyton has started to really ramp it up here as of late. Marmion made it to state as well. Bennett Academy, St. Ignatius, St. Lawrence, and DePaul College Prep was the seventh qualifier. Unfortunately, the defending state champs, Glenbard South, or were they second? Trophy winners last year. I'm blanking. I'm sorry. But they were a trophy winner last year at the state meet. They will not make the trip back. They were out by 11 points at the sectional, unfortunately. On the girls' side, Annika Swan looked like she was in cruise control to this win, 16-37. She just did what she had to do. Elena Mamanyanga of Wheaton St. Francis, second and 16:50. Delilah Hellenhaus was third, 16:52, just over Allison Shuttler of St. Ignatius, who was fourth in 16:52 as well. Team scores. St. Ignatius ran away with the sectional with a score of 45 points. This was probably their best performance to date. DePaul was second, 79 points. They make the state meet. St. Francis, 107. Bennett Academy was 123 for fourth. Wheaton Academy makes it to the state meet. Nazareth makes it to the state meet. And Fenwick makes it to the state meet. Chicago Payne just missed out with a score of 185 points, but they are a rising program. They have this might have been their best team that they've had in a long time. So, yeah, they look very good here today at that day at the sectional. So hopefully next year they will be able to build off of this and qualify for the state meet next year. But great performance by Payne. They've really been turning it on late. On to Caneland, the last sectional of the day for 2A. Evan Nosik was your champion at the Caneland sectional, 14:52. This is a different course from what they ran earlier in the year. And honestly, I think this is a different course than what they typically have been running. Ellery Shutt was second, 14:54. Carson Kaiser was third, 15:06. Sorry if you hear clanking on the floor, by the way. That's my dog. He just wants to be around people right now. So yeah, if you hear any clanking, that's my dog in the background. But Caneland won the team race. They just edged out Dixon, 78 points to 83 points. Lakes makes it to the state meet. Crystal Lake Central makes it to the state meet. Belvedere North makes it to the state meet. Woodstock makes it to the state meet. And the final team was Sycamore, who makes it to the state meet as well. That was the boys' side. Now on to the girls' side. Reese Conal won the individual race from Boylan. She beat Jocelyn Wade and Izzy Bing, who have been having great seasons. Lulu Tuntat was fourth overall in that race. Boylan Cafford got the team win over a great Crystal Lake South team. So good to see Boylan returning back to what they had looked like a few weeks ago. They kind of went stagnant for a few weeks, but it looks like they are improving now. Crystal Lake South was second. Crystal Lake Central was third. Mundelein Carmel was fourth. Lake Forest was fifth. St. Viator was sixth, and Grays Lake Central was the final team qualifier. And Burlington Central was eighth. Northside was ninth. They just missed out on qualifying for the state meet. So Yeah, that is 2A. That is 2A sectionals. So now we move on to the 3A sectionals. And we'll start out with Normal Community. That's where I was at, down at Normal West. Parkside, which is right next to Normal West. Individual race, very interesting going in. Dylan Maloney, Thomas Swinski, Zach Toman, Quinn Davis, Gavin Rogers, Owen Hareni, some of the best runners in the state were at the sectional. Dylan Maloney got the win, 7 seconds over Thomas Swinski, 14:36, only 7 seconds off Soren Knudsen's course record, who ran 14:02 at the state meet the next week. So that's a great time there. Thomas Swinski was 14:43, one of the fastest times on that course's history. Team-wise, Plainfield North got the win, 60 points. Plainfield South was second. They move on, 93 points. Edwardsville third, 99 points. Lincoln Way Central makes it. Yorkville makes it. O'Fallon makes it. And Quincy makes it. Quincy! They are a young team. We have to watch out here for Quincy coming up, because they have a lot of freshmen in their top 7 right now that are going on to compete at the state meet, and they have a great group of middle schoolers too that were excellent this year at the middle school level, qualified for the IESA state meet. So they will be a team to watch here over the next few years. Quincy. On to the girls' side. Maya Ledesma just dominated the team or the individual race, won by 57 seconds. 17:01 was her time. She looked amazing throughout the entire race. She ran it like she was running the state meet. Yeah, if you want to know what that I mean by that, watch my interview with her and watch the race video. She's been having a great year all year. I'm really excited to see what she does next week at the state meet. I think she'll be fighting for a second place finish. Yeah, but she won by 57 seconds. Minooka was the overall team champion. They are closing in on those top 3 teams, by the way. Just want to let everybody know. Don't be surprised if Minooka somehow next week walks away with a state trophy. But yeah, Edwardsville, great race for them. Probably our best team race of the year so far, 81 points. Plainfield North was third, 91 points. Yorkville makes it to the state meet. O'Fallon. Lincoln Way Central makes it without Bria Cunahan, their top runner. Don't know if she's going to run at the state meet or not. I'm guessing not. We haven't seen her for a long time this year, it feels like. And Lincoln Way East was 7th. Lockport just missed out by 1 point. Normal West just missed out by 3 points, unfortunately. On to Hinsdale Central now. On the boys' side, Philip Cupiol won the... Supiol, sorry. Philip Supiol, my bad. 14:07 on the 2.9 course over his teammate Grant Schroeder, 14:10. Benjamin Wugezer, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, was very close in a 14:13 or 14:16. He looked amazing this race. This was a huge breakout race for him. His best race of the season to date. And that follows up a great Lions team performance as well, which we'll talk about here. But it was DGN who got the team win overall, 38 points. Lions, 112. They looked good. I think they didn't. Did they not have somebody? I forget. I forget off the top of my head. But I know I was very impressed by Lions' team performance. Sandburg was third. Neuqua Valley was fourth. Naperville Central was fifth. Naperville North was 6th. And Berwyn Cicero Morton makes it. Berwyn Cicero Morton makes it to the state meet. They have a great top 3. So they add a lot to this race. And it's very cool to see. I don't know the last time I saw Berwyn Cicero Morton qualify for the state meet. So, yeah, very, very cool to see. Hinsdale Central, unfortunately, missed out on state meet. 238 points. They were out by 48 points. And then DGS was the 9th team. On the girls' side, Amelie Ojeda from Willowbrook. Great race, 16:13 28:35. She had a big race at the regional, and I was really excited to see how she raced at the regional. And she topped it, I feel like, at the sectional. She won by 13 or 16 seconds over Elena Tonum, who had a great race. Emma Barris was third, 16:58. Really good team race or individual race overall. Ojeda is going to be a top 5 runner, I feel like, at the state meet this upcoming week. We'll have to see for sure. She's for sure top 10. We'll say that. She might be top 5. I feel like almost for sure top 10, barring anything bad happening. Downers Grove North got the team win overall, 28 points. Naperville North, 58 points. Naperville Central was third. Wabanti Valley, first time in school history they qualified, I saw on Twitter. On the girls' side, Oswego East was 5th. Hinsdale Central 6th, and DGS made it as a 7th team. I was really impressed to see DGS make it. It's been a long year for them, I know. So, yeah, they make it back to the state meet, which is great for their program, and hopefully can catapult them back to the success that they had in 18 and 19. But yeah, so that was the Hinsdale Central sectional. Oh, DGN on both sides look great. They look like they are the boys look like they are the favorites heading to the state meet. DGN girls are going to have a run for their money, though, and we'll talk about that here in 2 sectionals from now, the final sectional that we talk about. Here, so now we move on to Lake Park. Jacob Barraza was your individual winner, 14:35. Narianan, 14:39 for second. Liam O'Connor, 14:44. Tommy Nitz, 14:46. Aiden Murphy, 14:47. This Lake Park course seemed a lot faster than I've ever seen it. Yeah, because usually it's about 10 seconds off state, off of what Detwater runs. I think it's less this year. It ran extremely fast. There were a lot of PRs. The last miles of this race, too, were very interesting to see. It was a very fast final mile. So, we'll have to see what that means at the state meet. York got the team win overall, 93 points. Batavia was second. Wheatonville South was third. Lane, 4th. OPRF, 5th. Glenbard West, 6th. And Wheaton North bounced back from last week and made it in as the final qualifying team, which means St. Charles North, Maine South, and St. Charles East were just outside of making it to the state meet, unfortunately. Now we move on to the girls' side of things at Lake Park. Carlin Janowski got the individual win in 17:02. She's looked great all year. Avery Hacker was second in 17:13. Maddie Romaine was third, 17:17. Batavia had 3 girls underneath 17:34, so that was very cool to see. They looked really good. And yeah, onto the individual side of things. The team side of things. York got the team win overall, 58 points. They looked great here. Batavia looked really good with 84 points. Wheatonville South makes it to the state meet. Huntley makes it to the state meet. Wheaton North makes it to the state meet. Maine South makes it to the state meet. And Glenbard West makes it to the state meet. So that was Lake Park. On to Hoffman Estates now. Ben Crane got the individual win, 14:14 over Joe Bregenzer, who ran 14:25. Evan Park was third and 14:30. Team-wise, Nutria had a huge race. They scored 98 points to win over Lake Zurich, who scored 120. Palatine makes the state. Prospect makes the state. Barrington, Palatine, Fremd, and Libertyville. Unfortunately, Hersey, who was ranked top 15 going into this meet, does not make it out to the state meet. Just a really competitive overall sectional. On to the girls' side now. Mia Serwa, 16:03. 16:03. She is officially on record watch going into next week. So we'll talk about that, of course, in a different show, which I will talk about in a second here. 16:03. Scouts over, and she was a minute over her teammate Scout Storms, who was 17:03, and Zenaida was 17:05. So great race by Serwa. Barrington overall looks like the best team in the state. with a score of 41 points here at the sectional. Prospect looking good at the right time, 76 points for second. Hersey makes it to the state meet. Lake Zurich makes it to the state meet. Glenbrook North makes it to the state meet. Schaumburg makes it to the state meet. And New Trier makes it to the state meet. Yeah, great sectionals overall. We are finally done with all of the items from the sectionals. So yeah, mentioned everything. Hope you guys learned something maybe. This week is going to be an awesome week. Congrats to all that qualified for the state championship, individuals and teams. You guys will hopefully have a lot of fun this week. It's a magical time of the year. It feels great. You're going to get to the state meet on Saturday, and there's going to be thousands of people at the state meet cheering you on. Thousands of people running, or not thousands of people. There's about 250. Is that thousands of people? No, about 1,500 people running at the state meet, trying to do their best, get a PR, cap off their season in a great note, their school season, before they head off to NXR, hopefully, for some. But yeah, it's going to be a fun time this week on Saturday. I'll be down at the state meet on Friday the course walkthrough on Friday. Maybe I'll see some of you guys there. But just really excited overall for what we will see this weekend, and good luck to all. But yeah, keep posted to the site for content all week. I'll have previews of the state meet. I'll have rankings from 1A, 2A, and 3A sectionals. Going into the state meet, I'll do a ranking of the teams that have qualified and the top 25 individuals in each race. Again, that's not a prediction of what's going to happen at state meet. That is just a ranking based off of what happened at the sectional. So yeah, performer of the week, of course, this week. And yeah, I'm just really excited to run into people at the state meet. Everybody has been so grateful this year to me and starting up this site, and I'm excited to cover the state meet for the first time in Illinois running news history. Yeah, excited to see that. Watch out for all of our stuff for all the stuff this week. I'll also post preview videos as well attached to the state meet written previews, so you guys can see those. And yeah, it's going to be a fun time of the year this year, guys, and just really excited. So see you all this week. Good luck and have a great time.